Allison's going to be talking about the 5G network.
Oh, my experience with the 5G network.
It's a doozy.
It is. It's a very interesting one. I was working for a company that would deliver food. I was on the road quite a lot, and I was never really in my body all that much, because we've also done a video on grounding, so it's very important to be in your body and grounded while you're driving, especially because we did talk about not being grounded while driving. And I remember driving back to the depot, and all of a sudden, really, I am ungrounded quite a bit of the time, not so much now, but in this particular instance, I felt more ungrounded than usual. It was almost like I was actually being this is going to sound really strange, but kind of being sucked out of my head in a way. It's like something's come along, put like a straw in and trying to pull me out of my head.
Which is weird.
It is weird. Like, why would... Yeah, I don't understand that. I didn't really understand that. And the only explanation that we actually had was the 5G network. Because I'm very sensitive to, on a psychic level, on like a mental level, we actually did put it down to the frequencies. It was really about the frequencies that were actually flying around. Not necessarily, look, I don't know if someone came along and put a straw in my head.
Because you drove past a tower.
Yeah, so I kept driving past the tower heading back to the depot. It's a main road, and I think there's quite a few towers on Burwood Highway. Are there?
I'd say there would be, yeah.
Yeah, because we've got a shopping centre there as well. So I'm pretty sure that there are a few towers on Burwood Highway. And I just keep remembering driving along and feeling very, very ungrounded, like out of the mind, ungrounded. And at the time, I was also wearing a Moldavite pendant as well, which doesn't really help with grounding either.
Not really.
No,
it's not a grounding crystal.
No, because it's definitely not a grounding crystal. If any of you guys are aware of Moldavite crystals, they're not grounding crystals at all.
They're very powerful crystal.
Very, very powerful for transformation, the heart chakra, but also because it's a meteorite, it's very etheric. Thank you. It's very etheric, so it's very mind, very up in the ethers kind of thing, and that wasn't helping at all. And I remember coming home and telling Jason about it, and he said, well, maybe you need to take off the necklace. So I took that off, and that was a huge difference, a huge difference. But then Jason also came up with another idea.
Yeah, because I was getting shown when I was a kid. For some reason, there was something about picking on people who wore aluminium or aluminum hats.
I remember people like that. It was like in a point.
Yeah. I don't know if they're taking the mickey out of people. I'm thinking they were, because maybe back then they were considered to be conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
And I just got, okay, maybe that might work. And then we're talking to somebody else, and they wear shungite crystals in their hat when they're doing particular psychic work and channeling and stuff like that. And I thought, maybe we just try that. I'm thinking I'm going to have one too in my cap, because you can't see it.
No, because it's under the cap.
Yeah, it's in the cap.
Yeah.
Did that, and then instantly you felt a lot better.
Absolutely. I've got in my cap, it's covered in, like, underneath it's the foil, and I've got tiny little shungite pieces in there, and instantly, like, I felt like my mind could actually relax instead of having to fight so much to ground all the time. And I think did you try the shungite, or did you just have the foil?
I would have put shungite in there, surely.
How did you feel? Because you're very grounded anyway.
Yeah, I felt a difference. I felt like the headspace wasn't as busy, and I just felt a lot more clearer. Because if you go back to the 5G network, my understanding is it's not because it's the 5G word is just the 5th generation.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. But with this 5th generation, they've got to put more of them around. So therefore, my understanding is that the frequency penetrates a little bit more deeper into you than say 4G, and there needs to be a lot of them as well, because they're a short range frequency, not a long range frequency. So that's where the problem is as well, they're a different frequency. I mean, I know it's fantastic. You know, computers go, everything
It's
goes
quicker,
faster.
yeah, but
That's amazing.
you know, for someone who's psychically sensitive,
Yeah, I mean, that side of the coin is amazing, but this other side isn't real great. I remember doing a job with a tradie for a woman who was really sensitive to all this frequency that's floating in the air from, you know, back then I think it might have been more 4G, the frequencies and the Wi-Fi and that type of thing. And we had to paint her whole bedroom in this black magnetized paint.
Oh.
And then hook up electrical wiring, really fine wiring. It was special, it wasn't like a normal electrical wire. And then plug it in to ground the room.
Wow.
And then we spent like 3 days doing this. It cost you like $5,000.
Wow.
For this paint and this bits and pieces. And we were guided by this company how to do it, and then we had to paint over the top of it so you wouldn't know.
Oh.
And that was meant to protect her from going stupid and crazy. So there's a lot of people out there who are really sensitive. When you check out online, there's a lot of people who really can't handle these particular wave frequencies.
No, because it's not natural. It's not a natural wave frequency at all.
So if you're super sensitive to this frequency like you are at times, it will literally do your head in.
It really, or pull you out.
Well, for you, for that moment, for whatever reason, I'm getting it might have been this might sound a bit stupid, but a soul collector or energy collector or something.
Yeah, see, because I never really understood until just now when we were talking about it, the actual visual of someone like putting like a straw in my head and trying to suck me out.
Yeah, that's just odd.
Yeah, but that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt. So, it doesn't sound strange to me for you to say, it might sound strange to others, but it doesn't sound strange to me for you to say it could be a soul collector or a harvester or anything along those lines. It could have been anything.